the dad over the edge, and he's like, "What are you waiting for, Norval? Fucking kill this guy!" And he looks over to the closet, and he's like, and Jethro's like, "Oh, we're not alone down here, Brian. Who's your friend?" And he walks over. I don't understand why he's so relaxed about it. Like, he thinks that it's just one of the other guys playing a joke or something. But then he opens the closet, and then Jethro's like genuinely surprised, and he's like, "Why the fuck are you still alive?"
Yeah.
You know, and then Norval comes at him with the weight, trying to hurt him, and I think he gets a couple swings in, and then Jethro falls down and kind of kicks Norval back into the closet, and he falls back, and then Jethro's like, "Fuck this shit," or whatever, and he runs out of the hatch before Norval can do anything, and he escapes. And, you know, on the top, he's like, "I'm coming back here with my friend, and you guys aren't gonna like it," or or something like that. And then
so weird, like awkwardly, like you're a horrible bad guy.
Yeah. And Norval goes over to the dad, and he's like, "Hurry up, we gotta get out of here. You're gonna have to carry me because I can't really walk." And that's when the thing happens where he's like, "You're gonna have to break my thumb." And it doesn't, you know, it doesn't happen, but he figures out that they can get him free, and they climb up on the hatch, and he's like, his dad is like, "You gotta hurry because he's gonna bring this like gimp dude here, and he's bad news or whatever, right?"
Yeah.
And then,
but I love Norval's like, "I gotta go to the bathroom." He's like, one or two. He's like, "One. Make it quick. Hurry up.
Yeah.
We gotta get out of here."
So Norval goes to use the bathroom, and he finds, I guess it's supposed to be the gimp guy that they're talking about. This Asian gentleman already on the toilet taking a dump, and the guy sees Norval and immediately attacks him like mid shit, still with toilet paper.
Yeah. How is he? Question one is, how is he wiping his, like, you see the toilet paper following him, you know, it's stuck in his, how is he wiping his ass? I don't mean to get like too weird, but like, you don't rip the toilet paper off and then, you know, like, he's like leaving it attached to the roll as he's wiping. I was so confused as it's happening. You know?
Oh man, yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I love that fight scene, by the way. That ensues after that.
Yes, it's so good. They wrestle around for a bit, and
Norval gets just, I mean, ragdolled around. Like,
yeah.
Whole kitchen just thrown into a microwave on top of the table. He's getting his ass beat, and then the whole time, Brian, you know, he's pretty much useless, and he's like, "It's you or him, Norval. It's you or him. You gotta take a stand."
You know, and that's when I think he gets this like sausage,
like steak.
Yeah,
the sausage, like what do they call it? It's a fork, but it's like a 2-pronged fork.
Yeah, and Norval just goes to work on this guy's testicles, and
my god,
it is gory but glorious. It's
yes, it's like overkill.
He does it he stabs him in the dick so many times where that guy should not be standing, and he is kind of, the dude is still alive, but he's definitely incapacitated at that point. And I think Norval's still so pissed that he grabs this like thick binding of saran wrap.
Yeah.
And he like suffocates the dude with it, and then beats his head in. When you're like seeing with
the roll of saran wrap, which was insane.
And that's when I feel like a transitioning point for our for Norval, where you're starting to see him finding like what he's really capable of, I guess.
Yeah, that fight or fight type of. He's definitely changing as a person.
Yeah.
He's not the timid hipster guy that he once was.
Yeah, that's for sure. And so they kill that dude, and they start to leave, right? And I think
that's when they get down. They're going down to the beach, right?
Yeah.
And then Jethro shows back up with a fucking crossbow.
Flaming crossbow.
Flaming crossbow. Yeah. Oh, one thing we missed when Jethro first shows up, he finds Gordon, the fake dad, and he sees Gordon dead. And he's like, "Oh no, Gordon!"
Yeah, he's like super pissed.
And then when Jethro comes back and he sees, I'm looking up the character's name. It's the Asian guy. His name is Dandy in the film. And then you hear him in the background. You hear Jethro, "Oh no, not Dandy too."
And he's like, "You son of a bitch." And then that's when the light bulb clicks. For the dad, Brian, where he's like, "Oh shit, Jethro's gonna go up there and he's gonna see that your suitcase is still there with your address that leads back to your mom. So we're gonna have to kill Jethro, otherwise he's gonna find us eventually again." And Norval, still kind of he kind of reverts back where he's like, I'm not a murderer. I can't do that. And he's like, "I just watched you kill a guy a few minutes ago." And so, and rather than, Norval's like, "No way, I can't take him on. He has a fucking crossbow. Like, he's gonna take me out right away." And then, the dad's like, "All right, you're going to have to go along. You're going to have to jump in the trunk and go along with him and take him out wherever he goes when he's least expecting it. It's our only chance." So Norval kind of abides and leaves Brian, his dad, at the beach, but hidden. Essentially, Norval jumps into the trunk of what looks like a little old Volvo or something.
Yeah.
Again, I thought that was interesting because it's like, how is Norval able to open the trunk when he gets in the trunk? I thought that wasn't. Do trunks work that way, or is it just because it's an old car?
Like, how did he open it?
Yeah, because it looks like he shut it all the way. So I would think you would be trapped inside and have to wait until somebody would open it for you, right? Is that not how?
Well, I know a lot of trunks now have a latch inside, so in case you do get locked, in case you lock yourself in a trunk for whatever reason,
yeah,
there's a latch you can pull and it just opens it. But I don't know I don't know if that car is new enough for that function to be available in it. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know when that started.
Interesting. I just thought that's something that was running through my mind when he's able to do that so easily.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it works cinematically. He hops into the trunk and Jethro gets he does exactly what Brian says he's gonna do and gets the address, and he's like, I'm going to Beverly Hills to pay your mom a visit or something, or he's yelling at the top of his lungs, and then he leaves. And while Norval's in the trunk, he hears Jethro talking to some lady, Precious, I think is her name.
Yeah, her name's Precious.
And he's like, I need you to come down and help me out. Like, I'm severely stressed or whatever. And so we're led to believe it's like a prostitute or an escort or something, right?
Right.
We end up at this like shady little motel, and it's now raining. Jethro gets out. He goes into the his room, and then of course Norval comes out and is kind of scoping the area, and he sees Precious come in her little car, and he surprisingly runs up on her, and he's like, "Hey, whatever this guy's paying you, I'll triple it." And and she's like, get the fuck away from me. And he's like, look, Precious, this is really important. I don't really need you to do anything. Just like, don't close the door all the way. And she's like, you fuck off right now before I kick your ass or something.
Yeah.
And so he just like leaves her alone, and she goes into the room, and I guess she never tells Jethro anything about that.
No.
And so Norvald then goes to talk to the what do you call him? Like the
concierge?
Yeah, who's in charge of checking people in and out of rooms. And he's like, hey,
he's like, listen, there's a geologist convention.
We're all booked down here. If you want a room, it's gonna be like down a ways in the family cabin. And he's like, no, I need a cabin here. And he's like, look, I just told you, like, there's this swingers thing happening, and all of these rooms are booked, man. I'm sorry, or whatever. And he's like, so do you want to go like to book the family cabin or not? And then Norvald, like, super awkwardly is like, yeah, I'll think about it. Then and he walks away. And and the guy's like, the concierge is super annoyed, and he's like, oh yeah, you're gonna think about it, all right.
I like when Norvald comes back and he's like, hey, so there's this lady outside. You might want to go check her out.
And he's like, really? Why?
Yes, and he's trying to get him to leave so he can get the keys, basically the master key set. What did he say? What was the? He just said she was really hot or something.
He was like, yeah, she's got a lot of assets or whatever. Because I think he sees that the guy's reading like some dirty magazine or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's just say, Norvald's like, let's just say, she's got a pair of double D's or something like that. And he's like, oh, really? Oh, well then I'm going to have to go investigate this.
Yeah, he's like, I'll be right back.
It's because Norvald, when he was outside, he saw somebody, one of the cars, the license plate said Jugs.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So the guy falls for it, and then Norvald goes and gets a bunch of keys to different rooms. I guess he wants to get into the neighboring room so he can go through that. Those kind of motels have like those where you can do conjoining rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So then he gets into the neighboring room to Jethro, and of course it's like a shit ton of people asleep on the bed, like 3 guys and
a giant orgy.
Yeah, and they're all naked, and you could see everything, but they're like older people, or
yeah,
and it's super weird. And he's trying to like sneak through to get to that conjoining door, and I think he steps on the remote and turned on like loud ass porn or something. So you're just hearing like all these moaning noises and stuff, and at that point he's like, oh shit, I need to find the correct key to get through. And then the people wake up and they start freaking out, and I think they seem to be Russian or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
They definitely don't speak English, so they're just super confused. And then Norvald gets the door open, and then he walks in on Precious and Jethro. Precious has Jethro in like this weird ass headlock.
Yeah.
So it was like some kink fetish thing where like this lady goes and manhandles dudes and they pay her for it. And so Precious gets upset because she knows that it's the same guy who approached her from outside, right? And
she's like, God damn it, freak.
Yeah. She puts him in a headlock, and Jethro kind of strolls over. And he's like, now I'm gonna kill you or whatever. And I think what we forgot to talk about is that Norvald grabs like the invoice slip, like old school like needle point thing where you put like the invoices where it's like super sharp and dangerous. He takes that as a weapon to use on Jethro, and I think we hear. It's kind of subconsciously, but when he's outside, I think he flattens Jethro's tires. So when if he tries to leave, so then he